want to avoid any wardrobe malfunctions.
Right, right. Well, this is a pretty safe T-shirt, so. Good morning, everybody. My name is Cynthia Knight. I'm a business manager and co-owner of Nevada Marble Restoration. This is my husband, Ben Norgres. He is the other half of Nevada Marble. Short history on us. We've Nevada Marble opened up in February of 2013, and Ben and I, it's family owned and operated, and Ben has been in the business for about 15 years now. He started out in 1999 in Southern California working for Marble Medics in Beverly Hills, and then he and his brother opened up Superior Marble Restoration they operate out of LA. And then he moved here, started Nevada Marble, and about a year ago we started getting everything licensed and everything legal and pushing forward. And we've been open and operating for about a year now. And in the last year, it's been sort of like walking uphill through the mud. And one of our greatest accomplishments of the year is we became licensed by the State Contractors Board, which is like, one of the hardest things. They look at every arm or hair and look through everything in your life, and so that was a great accomplishment for us. And we are home based. We're out of Henderson. We're licensed in Henderson, Clark County, and 90%, 95% of our work is residential. Our target market is, I'd say, right, high-end custom homes. We do most of our marketing out to, like the Ridges, Summerlin, McDonald Ranch, all of the high-end homes that generally are going to have a lot of stone in their house. And we have, our logo established and our company colors established. These are the old, these are our old business cards. This is one of Ben's. We use Digital Insight printing for all of our printing services. They're out in Henderson. So it just has our logo, and then we have like a light gray and a dark gray, and then on the back. And then we also have done postcard marketing as well. We've mailed out, we just did our third mailing, and we do 1,000 postcards at a time, and we target it. There's a great website on the clarkcounty.gov, and it sort of just gives you an aerial view of the entire Las Vegas Valley. And so we're able to really hit the neighborhoods that we want. And this is like the evolution of our postcard. This is what Ben started out with, and it has our logo, and it's sort of that deep earthy orange, and the light gray and the dark gray with the what is that marble called? Yeah, with the basic marble design in the background. So it's clean. It's got just like a nice little professional look. And then on the back we have space for the address and the stamp, and then the logo again. And then Ben came up with a saying, and then we evolved to we went with Digital Insights. This is the first one that they gave us, and then we went to a bigger postcard, and this is actually like a letter-size mailing, and we added Your Stone Care Professionals to Nevada Marble Restoration, because a lot of people don't realize what that means as just the name of a company. If you heard Nevada Marble Restoration, you think we do what? Restore marble, right? So, but Ben basically, he does everything to every single kind of natural stone, and also installation. So, from the evolution of our postcards, our bullet points have changed to, we are licensed with the Contractors Board to do installation. We also do tile and grout cleaning, grout color staining, scratch and stain removal, crack, chip, and break repair, cleaning and sealing of all stone surfaces, marble, limestone, terrazzo, and travertine polishing. But it doesn't even end there. It's any kind of natural stone. Yes?
So that means that you have to say full service then?
Full service, yeah. Because I wanted, I tried to come up with a saying that sort of tied it all together. Oh, they do they do granite? Yes, they do, because it's a natural, it's a natural stone. He does, what's that? Oh, yeah. And then we also and we're also newly accredited with the Better Business Bureau. So we have our contractor's license on here, and we also put a little coupon on here. And I added an expiration date to put a little sense of urgency on there, because I'm really big on couponing, and I'm really big on deals and stuff. I'm like, oh, it's it's going to expire soon. So, it is. Yeah. So we've got up here licensed, bonded, and insured, because we're fully licensed, bonded, and insured, and then on the back, it's a lot the same. We're on Facebook, we're on Yelp. We have got a lot of calls from Yelp, from people looking us up on Yelp. We do have, this email goes directly to me. The only thing is that our website doesn't have the dashes, so it's a little. Right. Does the one with the dashes link to it? Yeah. And then, so I added re-clean, polish, repair, or restore all your natural stone surfaces, flooring, countertops, showers, interior and exterior. Because I get questions all the time, do you do blank? And I wanted it to answer as many questions as we could, And then just a little saying, it says, no matter how large or small the job, Nevada Marble provides attention to detail and excellent workmanship, leaving you with a home that will be the showcase of the neighborhood. And then, we do free estimates. And if you call and, if you call the number, it goes directly to Ben, and, they don't just get a free estimate. They're getting like a one-on-one, personal consultation in their own home with an expert. Ben's got 15 years experience in this field, and, we brought our laptop, we brought some of our, mainly after photos, because Ben forgets to take before, so. So we have a lot of after photos. He's done, he and his brother redid Greystone Park. Is that the name?
You see it in a lot of movies. It's a man,
It's in a lot of horror movies too. So
black and white photos.
yeah.
You'll see it on
Yeah. So what we're, I got an email yesterday from Trish. She's a leader of one of the groups, and hi Trish. We chewed on your questions, and she had some great few questions for us to think about. She asked us what we were most satisfied with in our first year of business, and we'd say customer satisfaction. We're going into people's homes and redoing something that they look at and stare at every day. People's, the reaction to the finished product is another great, it gives us a good feeling that they are happy with the service that we provided. It also gives them a renewed sense of pride in their home. They're like having guests over. A lot of these people, these houses are huge, and they are beautiful, beautiful homes, and they do a lot of entertaining, and we get, from that, we've had many repeat customers and referrals. And then another question that Trish asked was, what would we like to see change? Mainly, we would like to have more of a presence on social media. We have a website. It was designed and put together by our webmaster, who's in Chicago. It's been a challenge. He has, many different duties. He also plows, so obviously he's very busy right now in Chicago. So, the website needs, it needs tweaking. I guess we're missing a lot of links. We don't, if you Google us, if you Google like marble cleaning, marble restoration, we're probably like 4 or 5 pages back. Yes, sir. No. Well, and then another thing that we would like to see change is higher call frequency. It's very sporadic. It's, November and December were very, very slow, but we just did mailings. We did one in January, one in February. and we see a lot of more call volume with the postcards, because these are going individually, right to people's homes, and they are getting it. They're not getting it in a packet, like the money mailers. They're not getting it in like a coupon book or whatever. It's individual, and I don't know if you guys want to pass it around. It has a nice glossy feel to it. It's got a nice thickness to the paper. So it really, we hope that it kind of stands out in the mail. And, when I get things in the mail and they're kind of smooth and nice to feel, I kind of take the time to read it. And, we also want it to have significance for them. Is this the service that I need or I could use? Maybe they're sticking it on the refrigerator, maybe, So higher call frequency, higher presence in organizations. We'd like to eventually join, the Henderson Chamber of Commerce, the Las Vegas Chamber of Commerce. We'd also like to increase our referrals and recommendations. We work with the sales manager at Walker Zanger. It's a tile store, and she has, a lot of her clients that she'll provide their flooring for them. And then, a year down the line or something happens to the floor, they call her up. Hey, we have a chip. Hey, we have, the floor is yeah, exactly. Do you have someone to recommend? She's got a pile of our cards. And also, we also have gone around to all the tile yards and over off of Russell and Valley View. They're all over, pretty much all over there. And, introduced ourselves. Yes, sir. That was the third question. Ben, before he started in Nevada Marble, he worked with Desert Marble. And maybe every other job was going back and fixing somebody else's mistake. And I think what sets us apart is Ben's experience. Ben has, he can go in to any house and look at a floor and identify what it's been through, they used the wrong sort of crystallization on it, or they used the wrong. He can identify what has gone wrong with that floor. And he has fixed so many other companies' mess-ups. And so, how would we be rated was the third question that Trish had presented. What sets us apart? I think our customers would say that we provide excellent workmanship. There's attention to detail. There's people in these, homes that there's a very high level of attention to detail in their homes. Everything is down to the T, like their baseboards. Ben takes the time to mask off and cover up anything that could be damaged, because you're looking at maybe limestone kitchen floors that are, the cabinets are right up to the stone. So he's got to tape it all off, and he's using machines he's mixing chemicals and water.
You're cutting the floor, you're using a lot of water. Water is
Oh, no, that's great, please.
Yeah,
Right.
you have to use
Right.
very delicate tape.
Yeah, that's that's the best kind, painter's tape. Ben is, I would think that our customers would say that we're straightforward and honest. Ben, he doesn't try to, he does not too much upselling, because he just wants to tell them what they need to get done. If there's a highly damaged floor, there's different levels of service that we can provide. If they just want it cleaned and polished, just a little Band-Aid on it, maybe they're selling the house, then Ben can come in and just do a real quick clean and polish. If they want it to look like an ice rink, then, like Ben said, he's going to have to cut the floor, which means, you want to explain that a little bit more?
Diamond various grades, diamond braces.
And diamond, like if there's a creme marfel marble floor, it cuts a layer off of the.
Depending on how deep the damage is.
So like
Go
the.
away from 100 grit metal panels, that takes a lot of stuff. And that all the way back up to say 1200 with polish.
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
mean, sometimes I go in the house and you got liquids on the tile and it's drying flat.
Mhm.
What's that?
No, wait, it's
Seven.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's a lot of things that you have to take into account, like, you know, crappy installers and yeah. Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, and right, exactly. And then, you know, like a lot of these houses, like out at the ridges, this is new construction, and then this houses are settling, and that's why it's called lippage, when there's a tile that's a little bit higher than the other one. And I would also say that the customer would say that Ben is hardworking. We have a group of 5 on-call employees, and depending on the busyness and the size and the amount of the project, you know, he'll bring them out. And flexibility and easy to work with is another trait, I think, that they would say. Fair, competitive pricing, highly experienced. Trish also asked about what our competitors would say about us. And that was a hard one. I have nothing on that list. I'm like, I don't know. But, you know,
I've worked with a lot of them out here.
yeah.
They know what I'm capable of, and I've taught them a lot. Because of Marvel, I first met the guy over 3 years to start now. I taught him a lot of what he knows now.
You go to school for that?
I've known. I'm also
Self-taught.
self-taught and just working with, I've worked with a lot of companies nowadays.
And Ben,
Historical landmark, specific guidelines for historic architects, not for states.
right. Ben did Ronald Reagan's house and just a lot of
the actors, and so many actors.
Roland Emmerich, the producer of 2012, yeah. So, quite a list. But you know, some of the suppliers here in town, I think that they would say that we're professional and very knowledgeable. We do, most of the products we use are Stone Tech, right?
Various products.
Yeah.
A lot of people like chemicals,
Yeah. Eco-friendly on some of the sealers and stuff is a tough one, because it's not. Mm-hmm.
I line item a lot of stuff. Go with this process, with this process, with this.
Mm-hmm.
I give options.
Right. So we're, you know, we do everything from flooring to countertops. Ben did, he's done work out at Palm Mortuary. You know, this gentleman had a beautiful little monument for his daughter, and it's just right out in the middle of the cemetery, and there's grass around it, and it's getting watered every day, so there's a lot of damage out there. Yeah. So, you know, basically what I think our major needs are you know, more of to, you know, get the website tweaked. There's a lot of things on our website that are that just need to be tweaked. And you know, I've done a lot of research with our competitors, and there's a lot of really great websites out there that you know, I'm into more of a professional look, because that's really our target audience, is these people that, you know, and even these older families out in McDonald Ranch that are, you know, these people are looking for a deal too, so that's why I thought that the coupon is a good idea. But it's not like a whole line of coupons. It's not like cheesy and neon, and I like the earthy, subtleness of it, and then it keeps within the, you know, with the background, the stone background, it has like a nice, clean, professional look, you know. And because we're selling a professional service. And we have had, in the first year of business, we've had 0 complaints. We've had 0 negative write-ups. We are, you know, we're on Facebook, and we're on Yelp. Bless you. But I'd like to stretch it across Google, and I'd like to stretch it across. Yes, sir. That's our main. Yeah, that's the sort of a tie it all together sort of a saying. But even, you know, the postcards have evolved. They, you know, started out as this, and then that is even, you know, I was looking at things we could change on that. That's been our main source of marketing, is the is the postcards. It's something tangible that, you know, we're putting right in people's hands. But I'd like to be able to have more of a presence on social media, you know, and I want people to be impressed when they go and look at our website. When I look at our website right now, I'm like, oh, I need to change that. Oh, I need to change that. And the basic, the setup of it is great. Our webmaster is he's great, but and you know, time is also a big challenge too. Having the time to really, you know, sit down and figure out what we want to tweak. Do you guys have any questions or anything? We have about doing some kind of like demonstration videos.
There's a lot on there.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
Uh-huh. Right, I think a lot of people, yeah,
Yeah.
True. And we've also thought about putting a little video right on our website too. You know, I've been to a few seminars on email marketing, and again, with that we would, you know, the brochure idea is a great idea because we could put those right in the lobby of, you know, like Marble Express, and right in the lobby of Walker Zanger and Tuscan Collection, and you know, so, you know, it's sort of like, you know, you're buying a new car, but of course you're going to have it serviced. And of course your floor is going to wear down because you walk up and down the same area, and you know, that's the biggest payoff of it, is to see the reactions of them with the finished product. And Ben, after the completion of every job, Ben does a walkthrough with them, and then they can call us up if they, you know, notice something that maybe Ben missed, maybe they missed it, you know, whatever. They can call us up. We'll go back as soon as we can and get it taken care of. So, you know, it's you know, like 100% satisfaction guaranteed policy. But then there's also, you know, the flip side of that there's going to be well, yeah, but also, you know, irregularities in everyone's stone. Everyone's stone is going to be a little bit different. There's going to be imperfections because they cut it out of the side of the mountain. So do you guys have any other questions? Oh.
Commercial or residential?
Residential right now. We'd like to move into the commercial. We'd like to move into the commercial aspect of it. There is just a ton of businesses out there that have stone. Obviously, you walk into.
Instead of adding these limits on your bids, right now I can't exceed $10,000.
Right, that's our bid limit. So.
Keeps me away from commercial work right now.
Yeah.
A couple of years down the road, I can, you know, increase my bid limit to 50,000 or more.
And then last, we went through the Clark County Business Opportunity and Workforce Development Program, and that's put on by Tom Akers of Akers and Associates, and that's great. That puts you in, it's mostly you know, networking. It puts you in a position to do business with Clark County and all of its entities, including CSN and NSU and or NFC. And you know, right now we can't afford to do business with Clark County. It's very expensive to do business with Clark County. But the networking from that program was great. And yes, Trish. Mm-hmm. Well, the market that I think is most important is, you know, like one that that I think that people really go into is like, they go on Google and they type in marble cleaning. They type in how to fix a broken tile, anything that they would type into that line, or, you know, Bing or any of them. I'd like to be able to have Nevada Marble pop up and. Right. And then, you know, eventually, you know, when I Google stuff, I eventually end up on people's websites. And, you know, so with our website, I would really like it to just, you know, stand out. And because, you know, I think we've all done that. We've all, you know, gone to people's website. Oh, yeah, I'm looking no further, you know. And with us, a lot of people do, they call a bunch of different companies, and they get, right now we've got about 8 or 9 estimates out floating around,
I got probably right at 55,000 estimates.
Yeah.
Just over the last 2 months.
So, and these were calls, they were calls from the postcards, they were calls from, Ben did a house out at the Ridges, and, it's networking is so huge. It's the person that supplied the tile, it was her, who is it? It's her brother's sister's husband, yeah. Yeah.
Everybody knows.
And so now Ben, and he's an installer, so now Ben and him collaborate on projects. So, you never know who, we've made so many contacts out at these jobs, and so a few of our estimates are from word of mouth, and word of mouth is huge. And some of our postcards, it's interesting because we did a job out at, where's Tanya live? In the Ridges? And we'll get a call, got a call a week ago from somebody 2 doors down. And, oh, do you know the Campides? They live on your block. No, you don't know them, So, yeah, so it's just,
Walls in the same street.
right. It's been very, very interesting. And
You never fell in love with Vegas?
well, I've lived here since I was 7. I've lived here for 32 years now, and 31 years. And Ben has been back and forth the past 15 years between here and LA. He's originally from Washington State. Yes, sir. Mhm. Any residential.
Target higher end one.
Yeah. Because it's not cheap. I mean, if you want to have, if you say you have a marble floor and say you have like 2,000 square feet of marble floor, just to have it cleaned and sealed is like $1.50 a square feet of, yeah. It is not, it is an expert process, and you're not going to get the results. These people have been living in these houses, and they mop it, they have cleaning ladies, and they're not going to get it any cleaner, or they're not going to get rid of the scratches or anything. It needs to be serviced, and so that's why it costs so much. So, yes, ma'am. Well, we do. A lot of a few of our on-call workers, they mainly speak Spanish. I speak a little bit of Spanish. Ben speaks no Spanish. So, but I'm able to, bilingual is not a like an issue. I can figure it out. If somebody was to call us up, I would have, and they only spoke Spanish, but I wouldn't say that we were bilingual, like some people say on their advertising that they speak Spanish. I wouldn't advertise that. But if they needed, I can like make my way through conversations. Yeah. Right, exactly. You said you spoke Spanish. Yes.
You'd like to say moving forward and getting.
No, I mean, targeting
Oh.
farmers.
Oh,
Kind of approach you to be thinking about what's really going to happen in terms of our investment time.
what have we done that had not? Huh. Well, well, no, not really. No, we haven't really. We've gotten approached by many different opportunities, like with Yelp actually sells advertising, and so does Facebook. They the Money Mailer. I had a meeting with her, and we've been approached by a few different companies like that. We haven't, but things like that, they take a lot of money to advertise with, and so luckily, I guess we've been fortunate with the postcards, and
It's basically costing the same with the postcards as with you do a money mailer.
right. I mean, Yes, yes. Actually, we like the 89074 magazine, and they also have a coupon book, and Silver State Floor Restoration, they advertise in there, and they've been here in Vegas. They're huge. They're everywhere, and they have an ad in there, and also Palm Cleaning Services, sort of like a generic. They use kind of the machines that do an okay job, steam cleaning. So. But those are things that I'd like to look into advertising with. What was the other magazine? There's a magazine, I think the name of it, is that Home magazine? The one that we get?
A lot of these bigger, higher end companies about magazines.
Right, right. So we'd like to have, like the brochure idea is great, because then we would have something to go, to these, like the Ridges has their own community magazine, and also, a great friend of mine is a realtor, and she has a magazine that she helps edit, and you can advertise in those magazines as well. So we don't, with things like that, we don't have, I don't know if you would call it like a homepage or, something that we could just, put in there. So, but we have been, a ton of photos that is actual completion of jobs that Ben has done. And, we also have lists of references that, from jobs that Ben's done, that will, provide like a good recommendation, that had a good experience. So, but, no really, failed opportunities yet. So, yes. Uh-huh. Well, uh-huh. Uh-huh. Well, I think that we're as far as our logos goes and the colors, we're happy with that. The only thing that I have thought might be a good idea is to outline marble restoration in black on some mediums, because like we had magnets made for our truck, and right now we have our work van that is going to have the vinyl letters put on next Wednesday, and the marble restoration kind of behind the white, it's kind of, you have to really look to see what that says. I mean, Nevada stands out, but then with the marble restoration, that's the only thing. And then we added that Your Stone Care Professionals, and I threw around a few different options. I thought the Stone Care Experts, but I wanted something for them, so we felt like that Your Stone Care Professionals was the best description.
The brochure, I like the brochure.
I think so. Yeah, because we were trying to come up with a slogan for a long time. My sister was so funny. She was like, well, what about that Justin Bieber song, or not Justin Bieber? What's his name? Justin Timberlake, Bringing Clean Back. Yeah, I know. I was like, not so much. I don't think that people would get that, but
I'll change it. Come up with something better.
Yeah, I mean it's.
Just set on that.
And these are our T-shirts. All Ben wears these on jobs and out to estimates, and it's. So it's basically just the card. It's got, we have these in the smoky gray, white, black, and blue, and all of our workers wear them. And it's basically just the postcard on a shirt, and then we have some on order right now too with what is the name of that company that we use? There's Accent Printing. So we use Accent Printing for our T-shirts. We use Digital Insight Printing. They're out in Henderson on Horizon Ridge for our printing, and they've been great. They went and they went in and changed everything, because this is like the original postcard, and Ben got almost nothing off of the original ones, and then.
Too small, and I sent one myself, just to see what condition it comes in. They would,
Mhm.
they have a sticker that covers up the whole bottom of the disposal of it.
So the big one we mailed to ourselves, and it came in good condition. The ink held up. It was good, good quality. And the bullet points. The bullet points are hard because you don't want people to get bored. Because sometimes when I get things in the mail, I won't read through all of them because I'm like, ugh, it has nothing to do with me. But I wanted the bullet points to be significant. And they to really hit on what we do. And the main thing that Ben specializes in is stone maintenance, preservation, and restoration. And that's like the main thing. And we just, with the installation, that's something that we subcontract out. And but if we got a call from a family that their back table a chunk of it had cracked off. And this table was huge. It was like, it was an 800-pound marble table. And somebody like sat on the end of it and the whole end of it cracked off. And Ben, he flipped it over and he put fiberglass rods in it and glued it, and then he flipped it back over, and then he color matched with epoxy. He dyes it with, paints, and he color matched the veins. So you couldn't, when he was done, you couldn't even see the cut. It was just, I was staring at it, I'm like, oh my God. And they were so happy. And that, we charged them, $400 to do that. And we get a lot of, yeah, so, yeah, so, because he had to go get the slab of marble and bring it home and work on it and then take it back out there, and, But most of the services that we do, we are in their own home, so we're coming to them. And Mr. Ganna, is there a way that we can show our photos to everybody?
Yeah, just send me an email.
Yeah, okay. Okay. Okay.
There's a bunch on my Facebook. So through, and
Yeah.
I think there's somebody there.
There's pictures of Ben. That bathroom, that one is a master bathroom that you're looking at right there. And that is travertine, right, sweetie? And that was out at the Ridges. And that floor, they were just ecstatic with, at the end, with the, and it's so nice because it feels clean and it feels new. And it's like remodeling your home. You have that nice, fresh, clean, happy feeling, so.
When you refinish stone, it ends up being better than
Mhm.
deeper.
And then a lot of people don't realize that if they have a stone floor installed, it needs to be cleaned and sealed, like right away, because it's going to start.
Construct a home, and some people say, what can you do to make this look better?
Mhm.
Brand new stone, brand new install.
A lot of stones are very porous, like limestone. They just suck up everything. If you drop water on it, it'll just suck it right in. And lemons, limes, anything, acid, vinegar, all that does damage to it. My realtor friend, her granddaughter dropped a lemon wedge, and it got scooted under her couch, and she found it like 2 months later, and there was an impression of the lemon in the marble. It had actually eaten away yeah. So it's very, the stone it's beautiful, and what is that word to describe when it's nice to look at? But aesthetic, yeah, aesthetically pleasing. But it's very temperamental, and it has to be maintained and taken care of. So, yeah, there's a lot of pictures on our Facebook page. We don't, we've been sort of minimalistic with the Facebook pictures and stuff. We really need to add more on there. And, I did our profile on Yelp a while ago as well. And, I need to go back in and make sure everything is still current. And, we are accredited by the Better Business Bureau. We are licensed by the State Contractors Board, and that's a huge one. A lot of, people see the the contractor's license number, and that's a gimme. So, but you know, another thing I'm working on too is our business profile. On like we're listed on Angie's List, and they're pretty awesome because you can go in and put a whole profile up there so people can look you up, and also on Better Business Bureau you can do a whole write-up with pictures and the whole bit on the Better Business Bureau website. And I'm not, you know, I'm pretty new with the BBB, but I'm not really sure how many people are going to that website looking for companies to use, but we're on there. If you know, yes, sir. Well, you know, Instagram, I liked the idea of Instagram because the pictures are just worth 1,000 words, you know. And there's a company here in town that puts seminars on. It's all about marketing, and I went to a social marketing seminar, and she went through, you know, like Twitter and Instagram and Google Plus, and Instagram was one that I was, you know, really considering signing us up on, and it's just the maintenance of it is something that I'd be having to keep up with, and you know, so definitely yes. Right, exactly. But like our main thing right now is just getting, because all these branches eventually lead back to the website, you know, and so that's something that we really want to work on getting tweaked, and you know, there's things like on the tab on our website about us, you know, our webmaster, I think it was like when he was constructing it, you know, we're still working on, you know, signing up with the Marble Institute of America. A lot of those organizations we're not a part of yet, but so those are things that are going to be taken off. And then one thing I saw that I liked on another website, on the About Us tab, this guy had a picture of him and his family, and just a short little biography about, you know, his start, and you know that it's family owned and operated, and I like that idea. I was, you know, wanted to change that tab to that, and so, what else, honey? Yeah. So.
Thank you very much for coming here. I think
Oh.
you've got plenty of information to work with, don't you?
Yeah. Right on. Well, we're excited too, you know.